Welcome back, friends. Let's get into reading some of these stories. Am I the a-hole for not standing up for my pregnant fiance who ate my daughter's cupcake? I'm going to say maybe, because, she's pregnant. But then again, it is your daughter's cupcake. Let's see. Throwaway account. This happened this morning, and I'm so upset I don't know what to do. I, 36 male, have been with my fiance, 33 female, for 3 years. I have a 10-year-old daughter from my previous marriage. Her mother passed away when she was 2.5. My fiance is currently pregnant. Yesterday, my daughter asked me to buy a giant cupcake from a bakery near my work. She wanted to take it to school to surprise her friend for their birthday. I also bought an extra cupcake for my fiance. She devours hers right away. My daughter was really excited and put a nice ribbon around the box before leaving it in the fridge to take to school in the morning. Apparently, my fiance craved it in the middle of the night and ate the other cupcake. My daughter screamed that she hates her and the baby already. I told her I'll buy you another one today and maybe drop it off so you can give it to your friend after school. She said, "Don't bother." Later, my fiance texted me saying she's upset that I didn't stand up for her when my daughter was mean and that my daughter and I owe her an apology. I'm sitting in my car wondering what the hell to do. Was I an a-hole for not standing up for her? I feel lost. Your kids come first, and honestly, she already had a cupcake and she ate it. So no, if she really wanted another cupcake, she should have told you while you were at the store. Like, you were nice enough to get her her own. So you're not the a-hole. I feel like your fiance is. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband's ex to keep her jealousy to herself? I'm going to say no, but I really want to know the tea before I judge. So let's see. This is 100% a throwaway, so if I don't reply, assume I lost access. Okay. I, 30 female, am newly married to my husband, Rick, 30 male, so I'll try to explain the backstory, relationships, but I suck at typing, so sorry ahead of time. Rick was raised with Maddie, 30 female. My mother-in-law, 50 female, and Maddie's mom were best friends since they were babies. They dated back in high school, but it didn't work out. They did, however, remain close friends, and I probably should note that Maddie ended up marrying my older brother-in-law 5 years ago. So, on to now. Rick and I have spent the last year wedding planning and doing all of the traditional events that come with that. It's been an incredibly stressful time, but being my sister-in-law, Maddie was at almost everything. Normally, this wouldn't be a problem. I like Maddie, but it seemed like every passing day she would get angrier with me. This led all the way up to our rehearsal dinner, where she started making comments in a joking manner. I could have been his wife. I would have looked stunning next to him at the altar. This continued most of the way through our meal. I admit I was irritated and not enjoying myself because of it. And then she jokingly asked Rick why they broke up again. I decided to speak up and told her to keep her jealousy to herself. She acted like she didn't know what I was talking about. I told her I've had to listen to her little remarks at the rehearsal for my wedding, and I was tired of it. She shut up, but my brother-in-law and mother-in-law kept looking at me funny for the rest of the event. When Rick and I got back from our honeymoon 2 days ago, my mother-in-law had a talk with me about how that was incredibly rude, that I owe Maddie an apology. I'm starting to wonder if I was actually in the wrong here. Rick says I'm starting to wonder if I was in the wrong here. Rick says I was justified, but mother-in-law and brother-in-law are still upset with me over it. Am I the a-hole? I don't think so. No, I wouldn't say you are. I feel like Maddie married the wrong brother for her is what she's thinking in her mind. So she's regretting that and she's taking it out on you. That's not your fault. So no, you're not the a-hole, and I feel like you deserve a round of applause for standing up for yourself and telling her to keep her jealousy to herself. I think that's great. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my husband missed our daughter's cake? I wouldn't say you're an a-hole for being upset, but let's see what's going on. I, 25 female, have been married to my husband, 36 male, for 6 years. We have 2 kids, a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. My husband has a demanding job, and I've always tried to be understanding about his long hours, but this time I just couldn't. Our daughter was so excited for his birthday. She helped me bake a cake from scratch, mixing, decorating, and waiting all day to surprise him. She kept asking when he'd be home, and I reassured her that Daddy promised he wouldn't miss it. But then work called, and just like that, he was caught up in something urgent again. She waited, kept looking out the door, kept asking. Eventually, she got quiet, barely touched her own slice of cake, and finally went to bed in tears. When he got home late that night, I told him how upset she was. He sighed and said he had to work, that I should understand how much pressure he's under. I told him I do, but our daughter doesn't, and she knows that he wasn't there. I said she won't remember how hard he worked, she'll remember the times he missed. He got defensive, saying I was making him feel like a bad father when he was doing his best. I wasn't trying to guilt trip him, but I also couldn't pretend it didn't matter. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted. Am I the a-hole? No, I don't think you're the a-hole. I get that he has long work hours and it's rough and it can be hard to balance work and family. But at the same time, there was probably some way he could have at least enjoyed some of the cake before he left, or maybe just FaceTime you guys so he can at least see the cake and then eat some when he get home. There were options, and I hate that he got defensive with you, but I feel like that's just human nature, to get defensive. But I hope it all works out, and I hope that you guys all get some family time soon, because it is really important. Am I the a-hole? My mom pushed me to go out to eat, then pushed the bill off on me. I'm going to say no, but let's find out the whole story. It starts with everyone sucks, so let's see. Today, after I finished work, I get off 2 hours early on Wednesdays. I was supposed to go grocery shopping for my mom. When I stopped at home, I went to her house. She told me she hadn't received her new credit card in the mail yet, which she gets every few months because she's paranoid about someone stealing her card info. That usually means I end up updating all of her online payments because she doesn't know how to use the internet very well. When I got there, she mentioned the missing card, which was fine because she has 3 others. However, she didn't want to use them for groceries. That was okay with me. I could go another day if she preferred. Then she asked me to take her to Chili's. Now, when my mom says take me, it's understood that she usually pays. She's financially well off. My dad left her comfortable when he passed, and she hasn't worked in over 35 years. So whenever we go out, she covers the bill, unless it's something specifically for her, in which case either my brother or I pay. Even my grown nephews will pay when it's for her, but otherwise my mom always takes care of the bill. I'm not being entitled, it's just how it always has been. I always thank her, especially since I'm not doing well financially, and appreciate her help. Before we left, I told her I didn't have money for dinner since my refund check hadn't cleared yet. An FCU takes 2 to 3 days to release the funds, and I get paid on Friday. She insisted on going out anyway, and dinner was great. When the bill came and Mom handed it to me, I didn't have enough money, so I ended up using a Cash App loan to cover the meal. My mom then made me feel guilty for asking her to leave the tip because I only had 30 cents left after paying for the food. She ended up leaving 19 $1 bills she had in her wallet. I told her to keep the ones, and I'd tip the waiter next time since I go there often and know him well. After leaving, I was upset and speaking quietly. My mom noticed and got angry, saying I was acting up. I explained that I didn't have the money and still needed gas and food for my kid before Friday. She yelled, saying that when she and my dad were together, they never fought over money. I clarified I wasn't fighting, I just explaining that the situation wasn't ideal. My mom has always been hard to talk to, and I've noticed myself getting louder when I'm upset lately, but I didn't yell this time. I just explained the situation. She responded that I clearly had the money since I paid for the meal and that she always covers the bill, so what's the big deal? I tried to explain that the issue was me telling her I didn't have the money, and she still pushed for us to go out after I said I couldn't afford it. I assumed that since she knew I was short on funds, she would cover the bill. I realize now that I shouldn't have assumed that, so am I the a-hole for getting upset with my mom after pushing the bill onto me when I clearly told her I didn't have it? No, you're not the a-hole, and honestly, your mom Like, why would she even agree to go out whenever you already told her that you can't afford to do it? And she obviously, like, wasn't going to pay. If she knew that ahead of time, why didn't she have that conversation with you? I'm a little confused, but no, you're not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my parents move in after they kicked me out years ago? I'm going to say no, because you know what goes around comes around. I, 28 female, grew up in a strict household where my parents, 50s, valued their reputation over everything else. When I was 18, they found out I had a boyfriend that they didn't approve of. They gave me an ultimatum: break up with him or leave. I chose to leave. I struggled. I worked multiple jobs, couch surfed, and eventually got on my feet. My boyfriend, now husband, and I built a life together. I went to college, got a decent job, and we recently bought our first home. Now my parents are struggling financially. My dad lost his job and my mom's wealth isn't great. They reached out asking if they could move in with us for a while. At first, I considered it, but then I remembered how they treated me when I needed them most. They never once checked on me, never offered to help. I asked my younger brother, 24 male, why they didn't call me all these years, and he admitted they were embarrassed that I had disrespected them. I told them no, I wasn't cruel about it, just firm. I said I hoped they'd find a solution, but we couldn't take them in. My mom started crying, saying family takes care of family. My dad called me ungrateful and said they did what was best back then. Now my extended family is divided. Some say I should forgive and help. Others say I'm right to protect my peace. My brother says I should compromise and help financially, but not let them move in. Am I the a-hole for saying no? No, you are not. And honestly, like, your mom didn't turn on the tears until you said no. And she can't say family takes care of family whenever she didn't do it for you. So no, you're not the a-hole, and you need to, like, stay firm with that. Like, I'm proud of you. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my fiance's nephew to my wedding? Depends why you didn't invite him. For context, my fiance, 22 male, and I, 22 female, are getting married in 6 months. We always knew and made it clear it would be a child-free from the start. We aren't even having a ring bearer or a flower girl. The youngest guest will be a 14-year-old girl, my sister. We told my fiance's sister that unfortunately it will be child-free and her son would not be invited. Her child would be about 11 months at the time of the wedding, not a young baby, but may still be hard to manage and keep quiet. To make things more complicated, the parents are in our bridal or groom parties. Even if we did invite the nephew, they would still need someone to babysit while we were getting ready, and then they'd have to hand them off to someone to hold them during the ceremony. My fiance was originally in agreement, but now he is asking me to reconsider. I think his mom or sister is pressuring him. Should I offer to pay for the babysitter? He will have a set of grandparents that won't be attending that could watch him. No, you're not the a-hole. I mean, if they have options other than bringing him, then they need to use those options. And no, you should not be paying for a babysitter. If they want to bring a child to a child-free wedding, they need to pay for the babysitter. Thanks for watching, friends. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if there are any other topics that you would like for me to cover. See you next time.